Alright folks, the third famous brand new fangled audio review. Nate back, huge movie fanatic back with another famous audio review, solo audio review of 50 First Dates. Now, like I say, I'll just briefly say that these have never typically been my kind of movies, and they still really aren't my kind of movies. I don't really regard these as much more than just fluff they're good and bad to various degrees, but more or less they're just fluff just to whatever, just, come and go, like to entertain the masses. So I don't place any necessarily importance on these kind of movies whatsoever. But over the winter, as I've already said, I'll just very briefly say in Minnesota, when it's winter, there's nothing to do, and you get cabin fever, and you just get depressed. So I started over this past winter getting for very cheap, although this isn't very cheap. I got a used Blu-ray of this for, it doesn't break the bank, $7.99, which, this isn't so horrible, mainly because of the wonderful, I can't remember. I think doesn't this take place in Hawaii? I'm looking at the back. Yeah, Hawaiian Paradise. So 51st Dates for me, I've never been to Hawaii, but I'm seriously considering moving there. That's not even a joke. I'm really thinking that I should go somewhere where it doesn't get below freezing often, because this winter shit is really, I'm liking it less every year. So this movie has a lot of pluses, because I just love the atmosphere and obviously the scenery of this movie because of its Hawaiian setting. I'm assuming they filmed it there, or the exteriors there, or I'm assuming they filmed there. So that's one of the movie's biggest strengths. And I'm not a big read the back of the box kind of a guy. I don't, because a lot of times it's actually pretty common that a back of a box can really tell you like way too much. And I like going into a movie just, knowing the basic. I didn't even know that, anything about the character that she was, which is, I don't know if there's this actual, if I don't know if this condition is real in people or not. I imagine it could be, where they wake up, they'll just experience one day and they'll go to bed and wake up again. I don't know. It seems like having the exact like 24-hour thing might be a little contrived, but unfortunately there's a lot of ailments out there. So surely there's some stuff probably exists similar to this. It might not be exactly 24 hours kind of a thing, but I don't pretend to know about these kind of ailments. But to make a long story short, I didn't know when I got the movie or starting it what it was about. So it was cool to see. So that way, going into it blind like that, you're kind of like, you're like, oh, okay. I think this was another title that probably came out on video during my tenure when I was working at Movie Gallery. So we probably had this trailer play on a loop in the goddamn store for a month. So I probably knew what it was about then, but that was like, 9 or 10 years ago. So I have since forgotten. But then when I watched it, I remembered that this movie was about a character who would forget about. No, I gotta admit, compared to even Spanglish, or especially I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry, this is out of the three that I just watched within the past week, probably the best scenario, although Spanglish is kind of cool, but this is kind of a cool idea, and a good idea for a comic situation. I didn't mention in I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry review about the stupid Rob Schneider bullshit, which is also which is fine because it's not worth mentioning, but I'm looking at the back of the box and I'm seeing him in the goddamn pathetic wig and his fucking goddamn character in this movie, and I don't know, he must be friends with Schneider, must pay Sandler to be his friend or something like that, but whatever. So he's in Rob Schneider, the guy you love to hate. He's in this movie as well, and when he comes on, you just kind of cringe through the scenes, and I'm not as far as Drew Barrymore goes in general, it's just I'm really neither here nor there. I mean, she's kind of got a little bit of a chest. I guess more than a little bit. I mean, I don't know. So I mean, I kind of like her in the sense of having breasts and stuff, but I wouldn't call myself like a Drew Barrymore fan or anything like that. There's some nasty Adam Sandler movie bullshit in this, like the goddamn big walrus or whatever that like you know they make it pretend like it pukes all over that, and that like Russian guy woman, I don't that she's just he's I don't even know if that is actually a man or a woman, and that character I thought was kind of gross. Personally, that Russian man woman character, I don't know if it was a guy playing a woman or what. I kind of hope so for the woman's sake. But that character of that Russian, so what I was getting at before is the whole idea of this being a kind of a cool idea for a comedy, and there's an opportunity with that idea to do some heartfelt things with the whatever. I can't remember what heartfelt things happened in the movie, but I'm sure they were there, like the "oh" moments or so, all that kinds of shit. And I'm pretty sure that Dan Aykroyd, he's in, yeah, it says and Dan Aykroyd. So Dan Aykroyd's got a little bit part in this as well. I think he's like some doctor or someone at the hospital. I don't think you see him as much in this as you do in Chuck and Larry. I don't know. But, shit, did I say stars for this one? I don't think I did. I guess we'd go 2 stars for 50 First Dates. It might normally be like 1.5, but just that Hawaiian tropical, setting and scenery is worth a half a star. So, I think it is, one of the surely not one of the worst Sandler movies that I've seen, which at this point I believe is I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, which I just, like I say, I never I never imagined I would ever see that movie, and I kind of ashamed that I did and ashamed to admit it, but I did. So thank you. I guess that pretty much does it. Thank you very much for listening to this wonderful audio review solo review of 50 First Dates, which I'm generally a real big like romantic comedy kind of a guy, but during the winter, I mean, I get nutty enough to watch this shit, so that would explain why, why I'm watching it. So, thank you much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.